Hello, I'm Mario Toneguzzi, managing editor of Canada's Entrepreneur, taking care of business today with Kevin Zhao, who is senior engagement manager at Sapling Financial Consultants. Thanks for joining us today, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Okay, we're going to talk about some shift in the Canadian business landscape, the small business landscape. The CFIB, I believe, has data out there showing that 3 out of 4 business owners intend to exit their businesses in the not too distant future. Tell us the why behind that. Why are we seeing that trend taking place and going to take place?
Yeah, for sure. I think partially, just because of the succession crunch that we like to call, right? A lot of business owners are kind of reaching that age where they're looking to retire, right? They think, they're happy with what they've achieved and they're ready to pass it on. And a lot of times naturally it be their kids, they're trying to take over. But more and more now we see the kids might have other plans. Sometimes they don't really want to take over. They think they have interest elsewhere, but some other times they might be the other way where the parents don't think the kids are ready or maybe don't want them to take over. They want to have the company go into better hands, that sort of thing. So all of that combined, we're just seeing a lot of activity in various small business owners and a lot of different industries trying to sell to various different types of acquirers as well.
So what are we looking at in terms of the potential out there for people buying, right? Or is there
Mhm.
a pool of people that will take over and
Mhm.
acquire these businesses, or do we just see a lot of these just businesses shutting their doors forever?
Yeah, so I think that kind of depends on the industry for sure, right? So a lot of we work with a lot of different private equity clients, so they're definitely looking. That's kind of like their main target. But of course they have their requirements too, right? And in kind of what industry they want to invest in as
Yeah.
well. So, common themes these days include like HVAC or fire protection services, that sort of thing. So, if there are small business owners in that sort of field, then there's definitely a lot of interest. The kind of a similar kind of related sectors are kind of what we call searchers. So they're more like smaller funds. They're looking to take over the business and actually operate it as kind of the owner. So in that sense, the small businesses are much more receptive, right? They know they'll be in good hands, and of course, and there's a lot of those out there too.
hmm So, okay, so I'm
Yeah.
coming to you, Kevin, for advice. I run a company,
Mhm.
Mario's Widgets, and I'm done. Hit that age, I'm
Mhm.
done.
Yeah.
What would you advise me to do in terms to get out and exit successfully?
Yeah. Yeah, so for sure, first thing I would say is hopefully you're not done right now. You still want to be around for a few more years. So that's kind of the number one advice I usually give to small business looking to sell is definitely have a plan ahead, right? So we usually suggest 2 to 3 years before your plan retirement days to start thinking about it and start gathering things and gathering advisors. So I can go through the details. But yeah, so a lot of times their accounting books, right, especially their small business owners aren't really in place or at the scrutiny for private equity investors to look at. And of course, that will affect the selling process and also the valuation that you're going to get for your business. So, 2, 3 years is a good time frame to start making those changes and getting everything in order to prepare for the sale. And another one is just getting the right advisors. So, from legal to accountants and all that, right, different relationship work different ways. So it also takes time to find the right one and, maybe try out a few different ones as well. So all of that takes time. And that's why, gotta start early.
It's not something you can do alone, right?
Yeah, definitely not.
You
And
definitely need
especially if the owners most of the time never sold a business before, right? It's a brand new world and you definitely need experts to help you guide.
Yeah. What is from a buyer's perspective, what makes a
Mhm.
business attractive to acquire?
Yeah, for sure. I think couple main ones. So one is definitely the kind of recurring revenue or we like to call stickiness. All right. So if a potential buyer can forecast with a high amount of certainty what the future revenues and expenses are going to be like for the business, then of course that is a lot more attractive than unpredictable business. So that's definitely one, and also of course, kind of general industry dynamics, right? If you're in like a dying industry, let's say I don't know, print shop or something like that, right? Technology changes, right? So that sort of thing, that of course might be harder to sell. So what you're doing is kind of important, and just kind of the trajectory too, right? If if the line's going down and no one really likes that, right? It's always want to see the upward trend. So yeah, some of those factors.
All right. Anything else, Kevin, you wanted to mention?
No, I think yeah, just finding the right advisors, especially what we see, right, as kind of financial accounts, we're always on the finance side. There's countless stories of just bad books, right? And that sellers not being prepared, but for whatever reason they want to sell immediately. And of course they just have to deal with the consequences of that. And we're trying to get everyone to really just be prepared ahead of time and to help maximize the value they're gonna get.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thanks so much, Kevin, for joining us today.
Yeah, awesome. Have a good one.
Okay, that was Kevin Zhao, who is Senior Engagement Manager at Sapling Financial Consultants. I'm Mario Toneguzzi, Managing Editor of Canada's Entrepreneur. Thanks for joining us today.